Okay, Tom, so we're here today to do some assessments on you to see what's going on with your body and how that's contributing to your bowling. So what are the things that you want to get out of the day?
Yeah, I guess just sort of feel like I'm maybe at a point where I'm not really going up or down. I'm just trying to look for, I guess, something else to elevate the game. So we dig into the action and see what maybe comes of it.
Excellent, cool. So we're going to go through in a second. We're going to look through your movement, strength profile, power profile, look at your bowling from the back and the side. Then we're going to come back in here, put it all together and have a deep dive, and then we'll be able to isolate what's going on where and how we can then fix that to help improve your game. Okay?
Perfect.
Let's do it. If you can come here and get into a half kneeling bowling position, and you're going to press forward as far as you can. As soon as you feel the hips go, or the heel come up, we've gone too far. Okay, go for it. Good stuff. Okay, now we're going to look at your hips. All I want you to do, one leg at a time, think of a steel rod going through your knee to your hip.
Okay.
And all that's going to happen when we say go, I want you to come out that way as much as possible. Now, I want the rest of the body dead still.
Okay.
A lot of people kick this side out and try and get the trunk coming one way or the other. I want everything else really still, so we can just look at what's going on with your hip. Okay, so I'm just going to look at hip extension now.
Yeah.
So I want both your hip bones down on the floor. I want this leg dead straight and you raising it up as one. As soon as you feel this hip trying to get off the floor, then we hold it there, okay?
Okay.
Go for it. And stop. Good. And this side. Yep. Good. Okay, head down. When you're ready, press hard as you can. 3, 2, 1, and relax. And left side. See if we're going to change you to a lefty. Go for it. 2, 1, and relax. Good lad. Press. And arms straight up. Good. Pull, pull, pull. Rotate to your left. Yep. Lean out one side or the other.
Yeah.
And we're going to go off to the right. Good trust. Then we're going to go 3 normal and then 3 heavy, okay?
Yeah.
Go for it. What I want you to do now is just imagine you're getting ready to bowl and just get ready to go, and then we're going to do 3 overs, which we record from the back, from the side and the front.
Okay.
Okay?
Cool.
The thing with the run-up, what we want basically, if you think of a line going through the body, we're accelerating, and then as we accelerate, then we come up to fairly neutral and then cruise through.
Okay.
The thing for me where we want to be careful of is where we go like that, and then that.
Yeah.
As soon as we're there, we're decelerating. We're sort of leaning forward, and we're up. And then they get really big strides and almost land well in front of you.
Okay.
See that?
Yeah.
So as soon as we're landing in front, we're effectively decelerating. From there, nothing for you seems easy. It seems like you're swimming upstream against the tide to try and get somewhere. We could be a lot smoother here. That one's quite nice. Then suddenly we get here, and that stride becomes really long.
Right.
Each time. Now this is going to feed back into a little bit of the physical that we've done, but just for a couple balls, I just want you to think of cruising a little bit more than fighting. So, testing done. Now is the key point. Anyone could do testing. The reason that all the tests we do relates to something within your body and then your actions. So it's why we test everything we do. So movement was the first thing we looked at. Low asymmetry score. So again, this would be a green. So the 3 areas of movement, ankles, hips and thoracic, we've got 2 greens. Okay, so we know we're in a decent place. The thoracic rotation was the last one we did. Left side you were fine, 72, but then right side, we're just, the asymmetry does come in there and we're down to 58.
Yeah.
So again, what we see a lot of it is this left to right AIC pattern where lower limb is affected on the left side, but the right side we see the upper body affected.
Okay.
And you've got a little bit of that upper body. Lower body you're okay, but upper body, that right side thoracic, you know, is not crazy low, but the asymmetry is just enough for us to take notice. Okay? So that's movement. What we'd say is we've got green for ankles, green for hips, probably an amber for thoracic.
Okay.
But they're the 3 areas. So for us, what we do with our players is every month they rescreen from home. We don't want them to do everything if 2 or 3 of them are fine, but for you, it would be definitely a thoracic to make sure we're getting on top of that. Okay. So that's movement. Then we move on to strength outputs. This is what I like to call it, rather than strength, because like I said, we're not lifting. Like, I just want to know how the body's working. So on the floor, we're taking everything else out of it, apart from your shoulder, doing the Ash test. What do you get? So right, 15.7 kilograms of force, left 14.35. There's always going to be an asymmetry here.
Yeah.
Nature of bowling is very asymmetrical, so we don't expect your left side to be as good as your right. But the key metric we look at here is when we compare this to this number, because now we're in your front foot contact position. Now we've said to the shoulder, right, the rest of the body's involved now, go for it. And we see that number drop to 13.65. Okay, so again, we're starting to build a slight picture here.
Okay.
We're in a front foot contact position, we're getting lower, so we're not really using the chain as much as we can be. We've also just seen that we've got a little bit of a thoracic imbalance. Front foot contact position, thoracic imbalance, some things are dropping into place.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're a bit lower here than we'd like to be. We'd want that the other way around ideally. So that's where we want to get to.
Right.
Then we go on to your mid-thigh pull. So this is your big, where some people do like a 3-rep max test. For us, we like to do this one. This tells us, you know, a lot about the force you can produce. For me, this is what bowling's about. How much force can you produce and come back up and you hold that force to be able to really maximize it. So for you, normative data tells us 120 to 180% of your body weight. You were 192.9, so fairly high. I'd like to see us get over 200 there, pushing towards 220, 230, maybe even 250, because you're a big unit. I think you can produce a lot more force.
Okay.
So then we go on to the single leg. Now, from what, just anecdotally, you know, there's no scientific studies on this, just from what I'm seeing with the bowlers who are professional bowlers bowling 85 plus, this is one of the ones which they absolutely nail. Okay, and you absolutely nail this. 179.85 kilograms of force through that right side. Look at the percentage of body weight, it's 188.9. That's fantastic. That's a hell of a lot of force. A hell of a lot of force. Obviously we have got a little bit of an asymmetry here. Not as much through the left side, but for me, I'd always be weighted towards the right side because of back foot contact. So back foot contact is like, right, how much force can you produce and facilitate and let go of the muscle slack? For you, we can see you can produce a lot of force. Over 100 bowlers have been through that. I can't remember anyone getting that score. Grip was interesting because we do it at the side where you think you're going to be great, you know, because you've got that stability of the whole body helping you. And then we did it above the head as well. Let's now look at the actual bowling. This is from a scientific study of what the guys who are bowling at over 85 miles an hour were doing. So from back foot to front foot, those guys are between 0.149 to 0.203. You're 0.217, so fairly slow. Okay, but if we look at that picture as a still and think, look at technique-wise, we'll be thinking, okay, well, that's not the worst there. We've got that little bit of hip-shoulder separation. You can see that right hip's coming forward.
Yeah.
We can see we've got hip-shoulder separation. You've got an okay bowling arm delay. It's below the shoulder. Could it be better? Yep.
Okay.
It could definitely be better. But on the whole there, physically, are you getting to some decent positions? If we look at back foot contact to ball release, 0.257 to 0.309, you're 0.333. So now we are losing a little bit. From front foot contact to ball release, 0.119. Again, we're just outside, not massively outside, but we know get up from where you are, around 76, 77, be breaking the 80s up to mid 80s regularly. These are the things we've got to improve. Yeah. So shoulder flexion at ball release, again, between 32 to 46 degrees. Again, not too bad here. So 180 minus 145, so you're at 35 degrees. Okay. So you're within those parameters, but again, at ball release, what can we see on that back foot? In the air. Remember that boxer I spoke to you about before? Yeah. You wouldn't throw a punch off one foot.
Also caught up quite a lot there.
Yeah, yeah. Everything's a little bit rushed.
Yes.
Even though we know that the timing's a little bit slower than we need it to, everything's a little bit rushed. And we're going to come back to that word we used from double leg to single leg, stability. Stability for you is key. Okay, and then we just look at your lateral flexion there. No issue, no real issue there. If we look through, like we talked about your run up in the stuff you've been doing. So we're leaning forward, then you're upright, and then you look okay for a couple of steps. So I talk a lot about base of support, whatever's on the floor, center of mass.
Okay.
Whenever we're trying to produce any sort of power, we want that balance. So if we've got balance and stability, we can produce power. We already know stability for you is one of the key things that we need to improve. Yeah. And we can see that in your running. Okay, so you start to overstride by trying to get there too quick. So that the brain's a good bit of kit. It's not bad, but it's trying to keep you safe. So it's trying to slow you down. You're quite lucky that you're not going into masses of lateral flexion, because normally when someone's back foot comes off straight away, that's what we see. All we want to do now is give you the physical attributes to be able to help with this. Suddenly, if you've got a base of support that's that big, we've got so much more chance to be able to adjust that score up to 80 plus. And at your height, with your consistency, if you're hitting even 82, 83, the county should be knocking your door down. Knocking your door down.
Okay. So
we have to now put that program in place to help you with that. Like I said, you're now in the pit lane, having to get this car sorted so that we can then hand you back and say, right, he's good to go. Bowling coach, whatever you need to do with him, he can now do. So we just finished a great little assessment session with young Tom, who's come over from Ireland today. And it's really interesting when we sit down and we talk it through how the feedback, they suddenly have a light bulb come on in their head to say, right, actually, I understand what's going on, why I almost feel like I've had a barrier to try and get to the next phase of the game. And it's pretty much normally a physical one. And to go through the testing and put everything together, understand what's going on with the body, how that's affecting the bowling, and then what needs to happen next is absolutely key, which is where we come in. We're the sat nav that says, right, you're here, you want to get there, this is the way we do it. And when you assess as thoroughly as we do, there's only one outcome. If you follow the program, you get success. So if that's something that you want to do, please feel free to drop us a DM, write us a message, we'll get back to you. We'll get you an application form, but until then, remember, like, subscribe, comment, and we're here to help you.